Well, we said in the last couple videos we had a bunch of new places to scout, so I'm back out, new piece of public land that we've never been on, doing some summer scouting. Hope to hunt here this fall. Well, to start this vlog, this is kind of a similar piece of public to what we've been scouting and kind of what's around in this area that I'll be hunting. It's thinner, not quite so wide, not quite so heavily wooded chunks of public land with pasture land and then ag fields around it. So they're not very wide, so the bedding's a little bit different, a little bit harder to get a bunch of bucks to bed on a single property because the bedding is really limited. So that's kind of the issue we're dealing with, and we're still learning how to hunt properties that are these thin draws and trying to find the bedding, and a lot of times it's more of a travel route type of a deal. But to start, we didn't make it very far, and I was trying to decide if I needed to go down here by this creek and walk it. I was just going to walk the top because I didn't think I needed to, but right here, 100 yards off the road, like we talk about a lot of the times, that is where other hunters like to hunt because they don't have to walk very far. And right down here, we'll just head down to it. Tree stand. He's got it locked up already, leaving it up on public, which you're not supposed to do, but it's up still, so it helps us because now we know someone's hunting here. So I was wondering if I needed to scout here anyways. Now I know I don't need to. I'm going back that way, getting farther away from the pressure, so it actually helps you out when you find other hunters' tree stands. So that's what we do when we see other hunters' tree stands. Keep walking, but it's like typical public land tree stand, 100 yards off the road, doesn't have to walk very far. When the leaves come off the tree, so you can see a long ways. So that's where he's setting up, not really over anything for any reason. It's close to the road, he can see a long ways. That's pretty much it. So, like I said, we have to keep walking when we see that. So that's what we're going to do. So, get to walking. One other thing, just real quick, that hunting pressure kind of helps us with anyways, kind of in a good way, other than kind of narrowing down where we need to go, is that usually if someone like that is still hunting here 100 yards off the road and they're seeing deer and they're, you know, coming back to hunt, then obviously there's deer down here for us to hunt and go after, because if he's seeing deer and staying here, well then obviously the farther back we go, the more we find that buck bedding, the more there's going to be deer and bucks running around. So at least we know now that there's deer in the area enough for someone to hunt right there and still see deer. So it can kind of help you out in that way too. So as we're going here, that tree stands back there. So all of this, I'm not even worried about. It's pretty small, timber-wise, pretty skinny as far as cover. There's some back there, but that's where other hunters' tree stand is. I'm not even going to look at any of this or any of this until we get kind of to where that big cottonwood tree is, and there's a pond up here. I'm probably going to go up into this stuff, but I'm not looking at any of this. Too close to another hunter. Not even worried about it, not even concerned about it. So that's about how far we're going before we even start looking again. It's going to be, 300, 400 yards before we even start looking at another place to hunt and hang our own tree stand. So we're going to head down in there, figure out a way to cross the creek, and then get down into what I think is going to be some pretty good stuff. And then we'll work it back up. It kind of goes back up that way, hits the fence line up there as far as we can go. So that other spot where the other hunter is was way back that way. So that's how far we're moving before we even start looking for deer sign and buck sign again. So let's get in there. Hopefully we find some good stuff down there. Pretty decent tracks, hard to tell what they are as far as buck or not, because they've been sliding down this hill because it's been so wet lately, but we need to get in there in that bedding area. I think it's going to be good. Finally made it across the creek. We actually had to cross it twice, and I think pretty much I jumped down in because I thought it was solid, pretty much sank all the way to the tops of my boots in mud, so that was a close one. But we made it across 2 creeks to get here, and there's already a rub on this tree coming up out of this way. So I think we're going to do this kind of opening, comes and goes this way, so we're going to go around and kind of walk down the middle of it. So, but it looks good. Already found a rub, so keep scouting. If we go back that way, probably 150, 200 yards, that's kind of where this thing starts. There's 2 creeks that kind of go up on either side, and now right where we're at, they're starting to pinch back down together. So there's really good bedding habitat, really thick back up in there. To try to get a tree stand, we're kind of limiting our spots. It could come from either way, and then the wind's getting a little tricky, just kind of a mess back in there. So there's a pretty good trail that runs along this side, and I'll show you this gap that I'm looking at right through here, but I'm thinking this is where we want to set up. Here's another example of that creek bottom. You can see how steep it is. The deer can't cross. There's only certain places they can cross. So that's what we're capitalizing on, is that there's only certain places they can cross. Pinch point right through here. So we're gonna try to find a good spot here where we can maybe capitalize on that pinch down deer movement. We've kind of added another element here. We got corn right here, and then back this way, that's that opening that I was on the other side of. So I think we're going to try to find a tree stand location somewhere in here and find the best way to access it. It's either going to be coming from that way, walking all the way around, coming in from that way, or walking in this way. Just depends if there's deer bedded over there. But this corn here really helps, adds another habitat break, another transition line kind of in this corner. It'd be nice if it was soybeans, but either way, soybeans will be good early, corn will be good late, so either way, going to be a good spot. Lots of habitat types coming together, so see if we can't find a tree that's going to be big enough to get a tree stand or a tree saddle in. So that kind of top bedding area all pinches down. They have to walk right here. The sides are just too steep that they're going to walk right here. So it kind of comes out into this opening, cornfield back there behind the camera, and then this is kind of an easier drop in, and there's a spot. I'll show you how I'm going to walk in here, and we're going to walk in from back this way and come right up here the back side of this tree. So we're not going to disturb anything over there, anything back there, and then there's more private land, you know, wooded area back here, or anything that's out on the field in the morning. We're not going to disturb that either. And also this curves around and runs back that way. So we're kind of, the plan with this one, we're not necessarily on the bedding, but in this creek bottom type habitat, the way I've hunted it in the past and had the most success. And we're still learning how to hunt these small creek bottom areas because the bedding is just different. It's more isolated in nature. Bucks are more spread out. So what I'm trying to do with this spot is use the terrain to my advantage. So what we have is deer moving this way on this top little ridge that I've been walking. We also have deer moving this way because this other creek bottom runs in and goes that way. So we'll have deer coming this way. And as this creek bottom turns and goes this way, we'll have deer coming this way. So what we're doing is setting up right in the middle where all those meet, kind of at that hub. So that's the game plan now. Looks like that could be a good spot. But that's kind of how we chose this spot, more based on the terrain features than the bedding. But we know where the bedding more than likely is. So now I'm not sure what to do. So at least we took you through that spot as far as what we were looking for and why we sat there, or why we were going to sit there. That becomes an issue. Too close to other people. So now I'm wondering if we don't need to go walk around and come in and scout that other side. Because I don't like that guy's too close. Like our tree stand's just back over there. So that's why we like that spot. I guess had it been a private land spot, that's where we'd sit. So that information's still good. So hopefully you can still learn something from it as far as pinch points and using it. And that's why we sat there. But now that we're on public land, that tree stand right here throws a wrench in our plans. So now we either need to go in the middle or we need to go on the south side. So that's where I'm going to walk around to now. So that kind of changes our game plan a little bit. So probably no longer hunting that spot. Too close, way too close to another hunter. So that kind of sucks. But like I said, that's why we chose that spot. I mean, pinch points and finals, it would have worked out great had there not been a tree stand right here. But that northern side, we're just gonna leave. There's hunting pressure over there. The one good spot I found, turns out there's a stand right next to it. So hopefully you learned something from it regardless, because we initially seen that one tree stand and we moved away from it. And we found a good spot, kind of using the pinch points and the funnels and the terrain here in ag country to find us a spot. And it would have been a good spot, but then we found another tree stand. So you can still learn something, and we still learned something about scouting in this area is using those funnels, and it really helps and really works out. And then we found a nice spot over here that we're going to be coming back to. So we'll head out now and hopefully have some more scouting videos for you in the summer. As the seed ticks come out, we might slow down on the scouting, but we'll have some velvet scouting videos coming up, end of July, first part of August. So we're still going to have some content for you. Of course, ask Whitetail Instinct if you have any questions over anything you're doing right now, or anything we've done or you've seen in our videos. Put those questions in the comments, and we're going to be doing some more map scouting videos as well. So send those in. But I got a long, hot walk out. Got a little bit of water left, so I'm going to drink that and walk out, and we'll come back to the southern side when it cools down, probably in October when there's a little bit more deer sign. We'll have to scout that because it is so thick in there, but that should be a good spot. We'll probably be back there this fall. So like I said, I'm gonna walk out and drink the rest of this water.